Hey there, Days fans! Welcome back to the channel, your ultimate sanctuary for all things Salem. If you're like me, you're still reeling from that January 23rd cliffhanger. We've got so much to unpack today, from bugged gifts and Dimitri returns to a blast from the past that might just be Stephanie's worst nightmare. Grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive deep into the twisted web currently trapping Alex and Stephanie. The gift that keeps on listening. Let's start with that engagement gift, shall we? At the end of the Friday, January 23rd episode, we saw Alex and Stephanie find a mysterious box outside their door. Now, in Salem, a mysterious box is never just a blender or a set of towels. It's either a bomb, a severed head, or, in this case, something much more insidious. Steve Patch Johnson, being the legendary ISA agent he is, stepped in to open it. And what do they find? A picture frame. A note suggests it's from Dimitri. On the surface, it makes sense. Stephanie and Alex assume saw their engagement announcement and had his assistant, Rita Leslie, send over a token of congratulations while he was away in Italy. Why this was a brilliant and terrifying move. This is where the psychological manipulation of our stalker really shines. By using EJ's name, the stalker guaranteed the gift would be kept. If it had come from an anonymous source, Steve would have swept that frame for bugs and poison before Stephanie could even say cheese. But EJ? He's family adjacent, a business associate, and just extra enough to send a gift, even if he's not best friends with the groom. My take: I honestly think Alex wanted it to be from EJ. Alex is so desperate to be seen as a power player in the Kyriakis Dimitri circle that a gift from the big bad Dimitri himself validates his status. He's blinded by his own ego, and that's exactly what the stalker is counting on. Dimitri, the unwitting catalyst. But here is where things get juicy. EJ is coming home, and let's be real, Dimitri, the brilliant Dan Furigal, does not do accidental kindness. When EJ gets back from Italy and inevitably crosses paths with the happy couple, Stephanie is going to give him a warm thank you for the frame. Can you imagine EJ's face? That classic, squinted eye, confused but smug Dimitri look. He's going to deny it immediately. Gift. My dear, I didn't even know you were engaged, let alone felt the need to commemorate it with a frame. Alex proposed? How quaint. The moment the house of cards falls. The second EJ denies sending that gift, the air is going to get very cold in Salem. This is the aha moment we've been waiting for. For Stephanie, the realization that she's been living with a literal ear in her home, listening to her intimate moments with Alex, her private fears, her wedding plans, is going to trigger a massive wave of PTSD. Theory time. I predict this realization happens at the bistro or the square, and it's going to be Steve who puts the pieces together. He's already on high alert because of Jeremy Horton. Once he hears EJ didn't send it, the patch is going to go into full tactical mode. Steve's master plan. Playing the stalker. Now, here is where I think the writers are going to give us some old-school ISA action. Steve knows that if they just smash the frame, the stalker goes into hiding, and they lose their only lead. My hypothesis: Steve is going to tell Alex and Stephanie to keep the frame. He's going to suggest they perform for the bug. Imagine Alex and Stephanie sitting in their living room, intentionally feeding the stalker fake information. Oh, Alex, I'm so glad we're moving to that remote cabin in the woods tomorrow at 5 p.m. Yes, Stephanie, and we definitely won't have any security or police with us. It's the classic trap the trapper trope, and I am here for it. It gives Alex a chance to actually protect Stephanie instead of just pouting about Jeremy Horton. Speaking of Jeremy, the Jeremy Horton red herring. Is anyone else feeling a bit bad for Jeremy Horton? Okay, maybe not bad, because he's been acting incredibly sketchy, but the meth isn't bathing. He was stuck at the Salem PD all night before the gift was delivered. Unless he has an accomplice, he couldn't have placed that box. Character analysis: Jeremy is the perfect scapegoat. He's a Horton sort of, he has a history, and he's an easy target for Alex's hot-headedness. We know Alex is going to jump to conclusions and probably assault Jeremy again. But the day's spoilers tell us Jeremy is going to work overtime to clear his name. I think Jeremy might actually end up helping Steve. Imagine the irony of Jeremy Horton providing the key piece of evidence that exonerates him and points the finger at the real monster. The return of Owen Kent, the true nightmare. This is the big one, guys. The theory that's setting the fan forums on fire. If it's not Jeremy, who is it? All signs are pointing to a return we didn't see coming. Owen Kent Wes Ramsey. Why Owen Kent? For those who don't remember or were too young. Owen Kent was the son of the hospital's head of security who became absolutely obsessed with Stephanie years ago. He kidnapped her, held her in a morgue drawer. It was dark, even for Salem. The psychological link. Obsession. Owen's obsession wasn't just about love, it was about control. A bugged picture frame is the ultimate tool for a voyeuristic stalker like him. The kidnapping. Spoilers indicate Stephanie will be kidnapped soon. If it were Jeremy, it would feel like a petty revenge plot. If it's Owen, it's a full-circle horror story. The hidden factor. Owen has been off the canvas for a long time. It explains why Steve's usual list of suspects didn't immediately turn up a match. My prediction. The mystery person we saw watching the audio feed is Owen. He's been lurking in the shadows, waiting for Stephanie to be vulnerable, which, in his twisted mind, means being engaged to a man like Alex. He doesn't want to kill her, he wants to own her. Comparison. The Demera vs. Kyriakis legacy. This storyline is so fascinating because it pits the Kyriakis protective instinct Alex against the Demera indifference EJ and the Johnson tactical brilliance Steve. In the past, when a Johnson woman was in trouble, the whole family rallied. Think back to the many times Kayla was in danger. But now, we have Alex Kyriakis in the mix. Alex is a loose cannon. He doesn't follow Steve's wait-and-see approach. My fear. Alex is going to blow the sting operation because he can't keep his temper in check, and that is exactly when Owen or whoever the stalker is will snatch Stephanie. Final thoughts. We are heading toward a high-stakes February sweeps period, and this gift from EJ is the spark that's going to blow up the whole powder keg. Stephanie is once again the damsel in distress, but I'm hoping this time she gets to be the one to deliver the final blow to her captor. What do you think, Salemites? Is EJ going to be the one to accidentally save the day by being his usual arrogant self? Is Jeremy Horton truly innocent? And are you ready for the return of Owen Kent? Part 2. We will learn about a chilling and emotionally charged mystery unfolding in days of our lives. One that could permanently alter Dimitri von Leuschner's fate and expose just how far certain characters are willing to go when power, fear, and desperation collide. The question haunting fans right now is simple, but terrifying. Did Dr. Wilhelm Rolf secretly turn Dimitri into one of his human experiments? While the show has yet to confirm this outright, the clues scattered across recent episodes strongly suggest that Dimitri's disappearance may be far more sinister than anyone initially believed. What once seemed like another dramatic Demera power struggle may actually be the prelude to a full-blown psychological and physical nightmare. At the center of this crisis is Gwen Richek, a woman whose history of lies, manipulation, and emotional damage has finally caught up with her. When suspicions first arose, Gwen flatly denied any involvement, brushing off concerns with practiced ease. But circumstances have since escalated, and the truth now appears impossible to contain. Gwen's silence feels less like innocence and more like panic. She knows something went wrong, and whatever it is, it's far beyond her control. The Gwen we see now is cornered, haunted, and increasingly isolated traits that often precede devastating revelations in Salem. Leo Stark, meanwhile, is caught in an emotional tug-of-war that complicates everything. On the surface, Leo is furious with Gwen, and for good reason. Her deception, once again, has cost him dearly. Yet beneath that anger lies genuine grief, not only for Dimitri's absence, but also for the loss of his friendship with Gwen. There was a time when they were inseparable, bonded by shared secrets and mutual survival instincts. That history matters. And when the stakes become life and death, even the deepest resentments can give way to reluctant alliances. Despite their bitterness, Leo and Gwen may soon realize that Dimitri is not just a personal loss, but a shared responsibility. Neither of them can fix this alone. Dimitri's disappearance has grown too complex, too dangerous, and too deeply rooted in Demera science to be handled without cooperation. The tragedy may force them into an uneasy partnership driven not by forgiveness, but by necessity. This is where Dr. Wilhelm Rolf enters the story, casting a long, unsettling shadow. Longtime viewers know Rolf as the Demera family's resident mad scientist, a man whose brilliance is rivaled only by his complete disregard for ethical boundaries. With EJ Demera temporarily out of the picture, Rolf's leash has effectively been loosened. Gwen, desperate and short on options, may have turned to him as a last resort, believing she could control the situation through money and influence. Rolf, after all, is not just a loyal Dimitri employee, he's a man fueled by ambition and obsession. Gwen's financial backing of his state-of-the-art laboratory and experimental research gives her leverage, but it also gives Rolf opportunity. To him, Dimitri may represent the perfect subject, genetically valuable, psychologically complex, and politically disposable. Agreeing to help Gwen would not be an act of loyalty, it would be a strategic move to secure continued funding and unrestricted access to human experimentation. On the surface, Rolf could have spun a convincing story. Perhaps he claimed Dimitri would be taken somewhere safe, Alemania, a secluded Dimitri estate, or even a private island where he could live in comfort, shielded from enemies and legal consequences. Such a narrative would soothe Gwen's guilt and keep Leo from asking too many questions. It would sound logical, even merciful. But the reality may be far darker. Instead of luxury and freedom, Dimitri could have awakened in a cold, sterile underground laboratory, stripped of autonomy and reduced to a test subject. No contact with the outside world. No idea how much time has passed. Only Dr. Rolf, his machines, and a relentless series of experiments designed to push the limits of the human mind and body. For Rolf, this would not be cruelty, it would be progress. The true horror lies in the deception. While Leo and Gwen mourn Dimitri from afar, believing he's alive and well somewhere beyond their reach, he could be suffering in silence, enduring procedures he never consented to. This tragic irony is classic Days of Our Lives, the illusion of safety masking profound betrayal. If this storyline unfolds as many fans suspect, it could mark one of the most disturbing arcs in recent memory. Dimitri's eventual return, if he survives, will not be triumphant. It would be fractured, emotional, and deeply traumatic. He would come back changed, carrying the scars of Rolf's obsession and the knowledge that those he trusted failed to protect him. Ultimately, this plot forces every character involved to confront uncomfortable truths. Gwen must face the consequences of treating people as disposable tools. Leo must decide whether anger or loyalty defines him. And Dr. Wilhelm Rolf, once again, proves that unchecked genius is Salem's most dangerous weapon. As this mystery deepens, one thing is certain: Dimitri's disappearance is not just a plot twist, it's a reckoning. And when the truth finally comes out, it may destroy far more than just one man's freedom.